All right, question 16 or 15. We're asked to find exact values of these. Now, you can see they've got 60 degrees, 45 degrees, 30 degrees. So, I'd like to remind you, if I have my 30-degree triangle, that's 1, 2. The other side must be root 3 and the other angle must be 60. And if I have my 45-degree triangle, it's 1, 1. The hypotenuse must be root 2, which means sine 30 is a half, sine 60 is root 3 on 2, and sine 45 equals 1 on root 2. We're going to use those. Let's do A first. So we're trying to find x, so we've got x over sine 60 equals 6 over sine 45. You don't need to write the rule anymore because you know what's opposite each other. So x equals 6 sine 60 over sine 45. So that's going to be 6 times. Now sine 60 was root 3 on 2 over sine 45, which was 1 on root 2. And that's the same as 6 over 1 times root 3 on 2 divided by 1 on root 2, which then gives us 6 over 1 times root 3 on 2 times root 2 on 1, which gives us, let's cancel out, 6 and 2, that's 3. So that gives us 3 root 6 on 1, which is just 3 root 6. Question B. Here we've got x over sine 30 equals 6 over sine 45. So we've got x equals 6 sine 30 over sine 45. Now that's going to come out as 6 times a half over 1 on root 2, which gives me 6 times 1 on 2 divided by 1 on root 2, 6 times 1 on 2 times root 2 on 1. And that's going to be, that cancels out to 3 and 1, 3 root 2. Question C. I want to move these over so I can fit D in as well. Plenty of room. We're going to have so much room for D. So we've got x over sine 45 equals 6 over sine 60, which means x equals 6 sine 45 divided by sine 60. So I've got 6 times 1 on root 2 over root 3 on 2, which gives me 6 over 1 times 1 on root 2 divided by root 3 on 2. 6 on 1 times 1 on root 2 times 2 on root 3, which gives me 12 on root 6. Now you may be asking if I can simplify that. I mean, you could if you wanted to rationalise it, root 6 on root 6, or you could have rationalised 1 on root 2 to be root 2 on 2. So that gives me 12 root 6 on 6, and then the 12 and 6 cancel out to give me 2 root 6. It's always good to rationalise if you can, because that'll show if you can cancel out anymore. Okay, question D, we've got x on sine 45 equals 6 on sine 30. Oh God, these are all just riffing on the same question. So x equals 6 sine 45 over sine 30. So we've got 6 times 1 on root 2 over a half, which means we've got 6 over 1 times 1 on root 2 divided by a half. 6 over 1 times 1 on root 2 times 2 on 1. So we've got 12 on root 2. If we wanted to rationalise, which we should, times it by root 2 on root 2, which gives us 12 root 2 on 2, 6 root 2. Because the 12 and the 2 became 6. So that's that question. That actually wasn't that hard. It's just some good surd stuff to help us remember rationalising.